Today on Vital Signs, we're exploring a powerful shift in how people change behavior, not through long-term promises, but through immediate impact. My guest is Rui Morais, CEO of Dis-Chem, who is leading a rethink of how everyday health is supported in South Africa, especially for people who need value now, not someday. Rui, thank you so much for joining us today. So you often talk about redefining retail pharmacy into an integrated healthcare model. What does that really mean for South Africans?
So it's quite a complex answer, but I think simply what it means is that as retail pharmacy, you serve and act as the entry point into the healthcare supply chain.
Right.
And it gives you the opportunity to ensure that every element that you have within your arsenal to reduce cost and increase access can be repurposed into benefit for many more South Africans. Now, unless you start to control how healthcare is funded, which is kind of the other side of the integrated healthcare ecosystem, it becomes quite difficult to do that because then you're reliant on other parties within healthcare delivery to enable that. So when I speak about retail pharmacy moving into integrated healthcare and this ecosystem, it's really controlling the entry point, which is the delivery of pharmaceutical and clinical services, as well as the funding piece of healthcare.
So we shop at Dis-Chem, all of us shop at Dis-Chem all the time, and we are faced with these, it's went from pharmacy to now we're offering so much more. What was the thinking behind that? What was the opportunity you saw to make this happen?
So if you think about how the brand was initiated and what differentiated the brand and kind of this play out of corporate pharmacy, I think Ivan and the original founders obviously saw the stickiness of pharmacy foot traffic and what it meant to allow the consumption of front shop goods, right? So, that will always be core to the brand, is this concept of range, which is why our stores carry the range that they do. Obviously, as we've developed and as we've focused ourselves on being a healthcare destination and we talk about ourselves as being a healthcare authority, we've had to curate the range to do exactly that, and that will continue into the future. But it is essentially a function of saying, well, there's a stickiness to kind of the pharmacy piece, especially around chronic medication, and the repeat nature of chronic medication. And people consume, or part of a consumer's wallet is around healthcare, and how do we provide services and products into that?
Yeah, okay. So you launched rewards for staff internally. That was your test bed. Why was that?
So, when we did it, I think we understood intuitively and maybe principally that the reward program that we had in place, which was delayed from a gratification perspective, it was points based. It did an appropriate job at the time, but like with anything in life and in the way that we as humans work, it needed to evolve.
Yeah.
And what we were starting to see in the organization and certainly in the market was this moving together of what is a traditional reward and typical promotional activity. And that's kind of the intersect of how we created better rewards. The truth was, when we launched it, it was a fundamental shift in how we were thinking about rewards.
Yeah.
It also required an in-depth understanding. So it was the perfect opportunity to take our staff on the journey with us, and in doing that, create, as a function of a culture change that I had instilled, created this view that our customers are very much our priority customers. Our staff are very much our priority customers. And on the 1st of October, so I think it was 19 days before we launched the market, we launched it internally to our staff, and then in addition we gave an additional 10% back to our staff. So our staff, for all intents and purposes, are getting an average of about 50% back on the reward program of everything that they buy in store.
Wow, that's substantial.
Which is very cool, but it's also driven 20,000 ambassadors, and it's been incredible to see how supportive they are of the program and how they've helped us educate the South African market on it.
Traditional reward schemes, especially where medical aids are involved, are very exclusive. It's there for people who can afford medical aid, and it seems that Better Rewards has become more inclusive. It's more accessible to everybody, regardless of your LSM. If you're going to go to a pharmacy, you can benefit. Was that part of the strategy?
Very much so. There were a couple of I suppose principles that we weren't going to budge on, and one was access. We talk about access to healthcare. The reward program is effectively an ability for us to reduce the cost of healthcare because it opens up value in a consumer's wallet. So we couldn't be prescriptive about who got it, right? So it needed to be simple and it needed to be accessible to everyone. So as we designed Better Rewards and as we launched Better Rewards, and certainly as we see the traction, day on day, the fundamental thing that lives at the core of the reward program is simplicity. Like, you don't have to do anything other than understand what product is on Better Rewards, and then shop it. Obviously, the evolution of the discount structure requires you to do simple things like bring us your script or have your insurance product with us, but the basic Better Reward product is very simple to access.
Do you have to embark on healthy behaviors to get more rewards back? For example, do you need to get a blood pressure test?
So I mean, fundamentally, there's simple call to actions that we've attached to the program that are things that South Africans do on a normal basis, right? So I'll give you an example. We attach an additional 5% to the base 10% on all Better Reward products if you bring us your script. So if you bring us your script, you get another 5% on the front shop Better Reward products for 30 days. That is a normal routine. So if you're a chronic patient and you consume chronic medication, there's a 30-day cycle that happens. So you bring us your script, you get an extra 5% for 30 days. You bring us your repeat, you get an extra 5% for 30 days. So in effect, you're not changing behavior at all. Right. We're actually driving chronic adherence, which is obviously driving a specific health outcome, but we're not asking you to jump through any hoops.
No, you're making it easy for people.
We're making it very easy, and we're driving, through a reward program, we're driving a good health behavior.
Yeah.
The other, obviously, partnership we've created is with Capitec. And simply there is, if you're paying with a Capitec card, which at the moment and for a short amount of time has been South Africa's biggest bank, because of their ecosystem and kind of innovative approach to financial services, you get an additional 5%. So simply, if you shop pharmacy and you pull out a Capitec card at point of sale, your 10 becomes 20% on top of every promotion, right? Which starts to become super meaningful on a health basket.
Absolutely. Roy, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a great conversation.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Today's conversation really comes down to this. Behavior doesn't change because we talk about it. It changes because we design for it. Whether you're leading a business team or a family, the question isn't, do you care about well-being? The question is, have you built a system that makes healthy choices the easy ones? Thank you for joining me on Vital Signs, the business of working well.